Hey guys, welcome back. So yeah, today we're actually turning a wrench on the Chevelle. It turns out Mr. Water Pump has decided to go south, so I'm going to replace him with this absolutely fine made in China AC Delco product here. And that brings us to the topic of today's video. Auto parts and where they come from, and the quality issues we're having, and now the availability issues we're having since COVID. Unfortunately, the sad truth is most of the leading manufacturer of all automotive parts in the world today is China. A lot of this stuff comes from China, as a lot of you are aware, and they are the leader in the world. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter what you drive today or what you're working on, some portion of that car will have Chinese made parts from China or other countries. And that's just the sad truth today. Now, there's also the online companies that are selling parts, Rock Auto, Amazon, and eBay, and that sort of thing. In those cases, you got to be real careful of counterfeit stuff. There's all kinds of counterfeit parts out there. Everything from spark plugs to oil, air filters, oil filters, fuel filters. You got to really be aware of that, and unfortunately a lot of that stuff shows up from these online companies, and I get it. The prices are super attractive prices, and this stuff is delivered right to your door, and it's hard to turn that stuff down. I recently watched a video of a fella doing a very similar job. He had to replace the water pump on his Jeep, and as an experiment, he basically went to 4 different parts stores, bought 4 different brand of water pumps, and brought them all home as a little experiment to see what the differences were. And he paid 4 different prices. And he brought them all home and laid them out, and basically they were all the same with the same stampings on them, all made in the same location. There was one pump that had a variation in the casting, but basically they were all the same pump, and he paid 4 different prices, 4 different locations, all in different boxes with different branding. This is a common thing. It doesn't seem to matter where you go. If you go straight to the dealership and pay the big inflated prices, the part is the same as you get at your basic Napa, AutoZone, Part Source, that kind of thing. Anyway, there's also, there's a story, a personal story that I have that I'd like to share with you as well. A customer came to our shop for a wheel alignment. This was several years ago. And I think it was a little Ford Focus, and both outer tie rods on that vehicle were ready to fall out of the car. So I phoned up our parts supplier and ordered 2 Moog outer tie rods for this car. And for the record, our auto parts supplier at our shop is very good to us. If they have it on the shelf, I can I'll have that part in my hand within 20-30 minutes. And when it comes to warranty and returns, there's no questions asked. There's no problems whatsoever. They're well aware of the differences in parts and the quality of parts today, so they never fight us on warranty, which is really good. That's really important, and that's where this pump actually came from. Anyway, I got the 2 tie rods about 30 minutes later in hand, both in Moog boxes. I opened those boxes to find totally 2 different tie rods inside. And one of those tie rods was inside of a bag, and that bag had a part number stamped on the outside of it. So out of curiosity, I punched that part number up online to find that it was actually a white box. I don't remember the brand, but a cheap white box brand tie rod. So I phoned up my supplier and asked him what the deal is with this, and he informed me that big companies like Moog tend to buy out little white box companies, and then to move that product, they'll take that cheap white box part, put it in their box, and sell it at their inflated price. So that's kind of a scary thing. Had I bought 1 tie rod, I would have been none the wiser. But I bought 2, received totally 2 different ones, and one of them was an inferior part, and unfortunately we were paying the inflated price for that inferior part. So this is something that we all have to be aware of today. Sometimes when you buy the high quality name brand stuff, you're not always getting the name brand high quality part. I have another story I can share with you in regards to this. So this is a GM crate engine. If you're new to the channel, this is a 454 HO, and they come pretty well dressed from intake to pan. This engine is fairly complete. However, you do have to buy things like the carburetor, the distributor, the fuel pump, and the starter to complete the engine. And when I first fired this engine, the Holley mechanical fuel pump was rattling like crazy. It actually scared the hell out of me because it was a fresh fire, and I thought it was something with the engine. Turned out to be the fuel pump. So I returned that fuel pump to the speed shop that I had bought all my parts from, and I bought another one. I bought an Edelbrock piece, and it's been fine. It's been on there ever since and working fine. However, I had a lot of trouble getting my money back for the bad pump that was bad right out of the box, and I wasn't mad about it. This is something I run into a lot at work. You put on a part right out of the box, and sometimes it doesn't work. That's just how it is today. Anyway, the fella had me jump through all kinds of hoops. The following week he wanted me to bring back the warranty card, which I did. And then the week after that, he asked me he told me that his rep wasn't in to actually verify that that part was warrantyable or not, even though it was bad right out of the box. And then the following week, he told me that his debit machine was down. There was all kinds of hoops I had to jump through. It finally took about 2 months to get my money back. But as a result, I just learned that I don't support that particular speed shop anymore. So there's all kinds of things like this. I mean, what does this mean at the end of the day? At the end of the day, we just want to fix our car, get the right part for the right price. And here's the only advice I could give you guys. Regardless of where you go to buy your parts, whether it's online or it's AutoZone or Napa or the dealership, just make sure that they've got a really good return policy. They warranty their product, they stand behind their parts, and they'll look after you as a customer. That's the only thing I can tell you, because at the end of the day, all this stuff is made in China, Japan, Taiwan, and that sort of thing. And yeah, you never know nowadays if you're getting, you want to pay the right price for the right part. Recently there was actually a class action lawsuit against GM in regards to the AC Delco products. I think it was in 2021. A fellow had gone to the parts store, and in his mind he wanted the made in America products, so he bought the AC Delco. I think it was a transmission service kit or something like that, and he brought it home and quickly discovered that the fine print said that this thing was made in China. So he took GM to court, and I honestly don't remember how that all turned out. Maybe some of you guys can tell me in the comments. However, I do know that this stuff still says Michigan on it, Detroit, Michigan, and then the fine print tells us it's made in China, so I'm willing to believe that possibly he didn't win his case. Anyway, it's just something to be aware of. All this stuff is coming from different countries. A lot of it, large portion of it, is from China. Not absolutely everything is made in China. There's some stuff still manufactured here in the US and Canada. Some of it's from Mexico. A lot of the Cardone stuff is from Mexico, your remanufactured stuff. But at the end of the day, we just got to make sure that wherever we buy our stuff from, that there's an easy return policy and a good warranty that stands behind it. That's the only thing that's going to save you at the end of the day. China's really cornered the market on auto parts, and it's an unfortunate reality, and it affects us in our hobby as well. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys, and yeah, thanks for watching. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. We'll see you again.